Now, a former assistant park manager, the operations director at Schlitterbahn, now formally charged in Schwab's death as well. Tyler Miles turned himself in today. Miles worked at Schlitterbahn at the time of the tragedy. He was in court just a few hours ago, and 41 Action News reporter Sarah Plake was there. You've learned more about the charges against him, Sarah.
That's right. Tyler Miles just bonded out of the Wyandotte County Jail. It was set for $50,000, although his attorneys argued that it should be $15,000. So this is the first time he appeared before a judge today in the courtroom, and now he is off on many charges outside of the jail. The indictment is scathing. This brought about after that grand jury met and they forwarded those charges. That indictment is scathing, alleging that the Schlitterbahn employees knew and hid previous dangerous problems associated with the Verruckt Waterslide, and that there were even similar incidents that happened in the past. So now Miles is charged with involuntary manslaughter, along with 12 counts of aggravated battery, 5 counts of aggravated child endangerment, and 2 counts of interfering with police. He pleaded not guilty. He was the director of operations at Schlitterbahn when Caleb Schwab died on the Verruckt Waterslide in 2016. Miles' attorney argued he had nothing to do with the boy's death because he didn't design or build the slide. But the indictment says Miles is responsible for Schwab's death because he oversaw everything that happened at the park. Miles' attorneys argued he has been cooperative the whole time. So now Miles' trial is set for September 10th, and we will be here for that. In KCK, I'm Sarah Plake, 41 Action News.
Okay, many of the charges against Schlitterbahn mirroring those against Miles. Now let's go over the details in this case so you see what led up to the charges today. Remember August of 2016, we all learned Caleb Schwab and 2 other women went down the Verruckt Waterslide at Schlitterbahn. Caleb was killed. The 2 others were hurt very badly when the raft went airborne. The park shut the ride down. The state opened an investigation into what happened, and then in early 2017, we learned of the Schwab family settling their civil case out of court for a reported $20 million. Now, the other women on the ride at the time of the tragedy suffered serious injuries, also settled for undisclosed amounts. Earlier this week, we reported a grand jury was reviewing evidence tied to the death at the park and had been questioning people involved. As is design, they do that very quietly. And then today, criminal indictments were handed down in this case. Now, Caleb's father is a Kansas state lawmaker, and since his son's death, he's worked to get new regulations into place at amusement parks. Kansas has one of the most lax in the country. He's also worked to toughen up penalties for safety violations. You can read more about those new laws as well as our in-depth coverage of this tragedy and the developments from today on our website, kshb.com.